Welcome everyone to T2 Linux Development Late Night Edition. I can't believe how monumental our upcoming release is. You've seen it maybe on the more mainstream channel or on Twitch. Basically, I've worked another 10 hours between running my business like people do. Not only did I casually in 1.5 hours restore code Red Hat has deleted 2 years ago in QEMU for PowerPC 64 ABI 32. They said might not work. It does work. We restored it for our test suite. May I present you not only also INEH, other things, but yeah, now not only do we support 30 plus architectures in a total of 36 combinations for variations of C libraries and stuff, but now we also test suite that. Yes, it's a humble beginning, but that is more than most of the 2000 Linux distributions do. And we freaking cross-tested through QEMU in configurations deleted by Red Hat, because allegedly they might not have worked staring at the code, but they do. So initially, some days ago, not only welcome to this channel, right? We do this for 25 years, since I was 18. And more architectures than ever, even those people want to see deleted in the Linux kernel. Yes, there are some bugs also. Immediate, what even is that? Alright, this is Clang. Need to fix some Clang stuff, because that's what we do here, right? The fixer, fixing things, everything Red Hat deletes or breaks. Of course, some stuff does not work with Clang, some stuff does not work with Mesa, but we are here fixing all stuff day and night. But instant payback, right? Not only for Clang that didn't build yet, NAT not yet a thing, not yet built. Yes, that's an Itanium joke. But other stuff, also don't look, some stuff, Linus Torvalds, tiny little Linux kernel, crashes for some things. Anyway, instant gratification, not only, because that is the thing, right? Initially I thought we just in January, like in October we built all things, we found bugs, we fixed 100 things. In November we built all the stuff, we tested more, we fixed some bugs, we delayed it again. Come December, we built everything, found some more bugs. Yeah, my to-do has 667 entries and then some GitHub things. But in February, we finally released it without announcement. We have plenty more users, plenty new developers, probably one of the fastest growing Linux distributions. And I thought, okay, our February release was pretty good, 36 build configurations. I somehow didn't really feel like announcing it too much, because I was just overworked fixing things all day. I only wanted to build 6 mainstream configurations: x86, 686, PowerPC, PS3, RISC-V. But then the last days, because then it came up Musel, alternative libc, currently breaks Kmart, is like due. 2024 is finally the year where we automate the rest out of it, because what happened, I built 6 mainstream things I expected after 25 years and weeks of testing, heck, even vintage and retro, right? We tested all the old Xorg drivers, we fixed multiple regressions in Xorg, and then Musel breaks Kmart. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, even Microblaze mostly works, except here's a kernel, debug that another day. But look at that, yes, this unit tests, these are only 6, which mod info currently fails for Musel, can't make this shit up. Rsync last year failed, yes, Rsync broke for x86-64. These tests are of course vast. This means if a tiny little bin ls works, the compiler needs to work, the cross-compiler needs to work, the resulting code needs to be proper and not like break like the Chinese long arch currently does. It's relocation errors. So that bin ls works is actually already quite some achievement, right? Given for 36 configurations build architectures. Mod info for kernel module infrastructure. rsync for like basically from now on every major thing we will test suite on top of, yes, I have run the GCC test suite for things recently, but that is on top of this, right? This is testing more than the GCC test suite tests, because that test does this shit we cross-compiled even freaking works. And usually it does, as it's still running. AVR, okay, AVR 32, we don't have tests. Super H, yes, we even freaking test Super H, although as you see, what was even, what's it? I thought it previously looked at user space stuff works, kernel maybe not yet as much, but many other things work. I just need next also to make an even, this is all, yeah, this is long arch, Chinese code quality, what should I say? So that's not T2 bugs per se, that is just there upstream stuff broken. Here the segmentation fault is of course most likely arch mutual ARM64, like yeah, it's like TESTSUITE, the only substitute for TESTSUITE is more TESTSUITE, right? And so instant win, we recently, everything not tested, and highly appreciate your super chat there. I even took the P3 out, right? So this release is tested on a P3 and on a G5 and in QEMU. What do you want more? That is certainly more than SUSE and Red Hat are doing with their not P3 supporting. Probably wonder, do they still support? Anyway, increasingly T2, the last Linux distribution, all architectures covered and everything freaking patched to work. Yeah, instantly some fixes, because naively I enabled Novo experimental requiring Rust compiler, and it's like a totally, like even I totally forgot, like Dio, that broke some builds. Initially I thought like, yeah, Itanium, I had here Itanium the other day, yeah, Dio we don't have, requires Rust-C. And it's like, yeah, even I sometimes don't do perfect code, and that is why we want perfect code. Like previous video on my moment channel, some other YouTuber perfect code bad. No, perfect code good, because even when I write not perfect code, it's like, this Rust-C was an Itanium thing. No, of course not. Like even I don't even know what I was thinking yesterday, because obviously we don't have Rust-C for a couple of other architectures. So obviously the right fix here is package installed Rust-C, enable Novo experimental. So late at night, correctly disable, actually I should have copy, actually, or correctly enable Mesa, Mesa Novo experimental only if Rust-C is available. And that happens if you just build everything, right? I epic thread ripped through here 25 hours through cross-compiled 36 build configurations. And I have more. I mean, not only my working copy, tiny little bit. It was a busy week, what should I say? 131 changes. It's like, yeah, on top of, this is already the third live stream today. More main channel, Twitch, and late at night. We found some stuff, we fixed some stuff, we test some stuff. Next thing, of course we have more. Like basically, how much do you get for all your super thanks, subscriptions, Patreon? 36 ISOs, probably to be released tomorrow. Architecture PowerPC, because this is extensive testing. I tested this ISOs on a G5, because now I even built out network, like previous live stream, right? I even built network boot infrastructure. I now can turn on most machines and they network boot the last release. And it's like, first we run it through QEMU, then we turn on some machines. At the end of the day, surprise, our operating system even works. More super thanks there. Found funds for the book, Little Prince Towards Your Daughter's Bedtime Stories. Highly appreciate that. It's a boy though. If you saw some photos, yes, he has middle long hair, but don't worry. Highly appreciate that. Actually, I brought a nice new book the other day. Did I mention that? Brought a Das kleine Gespenst. It's a little ghost. Probably German-ish book story. Likes it very much. Highly appreciate the stuff. So, more fixes, because, and that is why we want to test you this, right? PS3 G5 did not found that I had enabled PATA legacy. It's some changes here. We do some stuff. We do some stuff 24 hours a day. Turns out PATA legacy, I kid you not, oopses the Linux kernel on PowerPC, at least when run in QEMU. How does it happen? Our code falls back if there is no block device early or not late. Late on early-ish in the boot process, but after the kernel booted, after VUDEV triggered all the user space events and all the dev tempfs device nodes are created, if there is no block device, then probably it needs PATA legacy. It's like, yeah, that crashes on PowerPC, at least PowerPC 64. So the next thing, disable. Here's the config PATA legacy. Disable PATA legacy for PowerPC 64 as it oopses the kernel, at least right now in QEMU. It only didn't occur on real hardware because both the G5 and the PS3 have storage devices, right? So much. The more you test, you once boot with its storage devices and your Linux kernel oops. But there is more that you get tonight. Also, I wonder why. Oh, this has, wait, this has some merge info. What merge info does this have? Not really sure what merge info that is, to be honest. Anyway, maybe because did I rewrite? Not really sure what's going on there. But there is more. Not only is there a Power 10 CPU define that we also need to support, but earlier in my testing, because obviously for decades we test everything, I found the Linux kernel config PowerPC P series broke at least PS3. I didn't debug in which way, maybe early hypervisor console or whatever. Something bugs that and I didn't need that, so I disabled that. Today I found or was reminded that obviously some people might have an IBM P series, plus it can be supported in QEMU, right? So to keep this not breaking PS3 for now, I changed this for little endian kernel today to enable P series for little endian at least, not to break. So it can be further reviewed. All right, all right, probably the merge info. Oh, there is that even. Ah, that's inconvenient. Okay, let's commit this in 2 steps. Because what I did the other day already, this is why I have here a cleaner tree that hopefully is cleanish. Architecture PowerPC, because pro tip, commit your stuff atomically, so one topic at a time. So I don't want to mix this, because if you bisect this or otherwise, does modular frame buffer or P series break your stuff? So that would be Linux, no, Linux, some probably in 4 for PS3. So let's make that what I wanted a month ago, but finally it works, more fully modular. I believe I had this previously disabled. That's maybe where the merge info is coming from. Even more fully, where do we have that? Oops, not revision 1, frame buffer. Should be somewhere. It's just good style to document that. Even more modular. Not really sure which. Ah, yeah. So this is a little bit hiding that. Okay, but it's just okay. So, is this the best place even for that? That's pretty okay-ish. Okay. Restored PowerPC 64 config FB reverted in. Oh, you also don't see this, of course. 16:10 screen. Previously reverted, so restored PowerPC. Okay, that's good enough. Let's see if this merges without conflict. Did I put it on the same? Probably I did. So then next, power. So very, I mean, I could commit this together. It's only power 10. So define power 10 for PowerPC Linux conf 2 and enable PPC P series for PowerPC 64 LE with the previously broke PS3. So then at least we get P series back for PowerPC 64 LE. It's already more than nothing, probably more what most people need. And we test all of this. I did some extra preparations here in internal test QEMU wire up. So because we have 3 PowerPC builds, 32-bit, 64-bit, 32-bit user space for performance on G5 and PowerP3, and 64 pure 64 user lint with a little onion. We test all, so this for 32 we use G3 bike, which is QEMU default. I only put it here to document this. For other PS3 G5 we use Mac 99, and then for 64-bit a little onion we use Power NV non-virtualized, so that we test 3 different code passes here for all of that. Because obviously we have 3 builds, we can test them differently. The more you test, the better. The only substitute for testing is more testing. But of course there is plenty more. Basically we need additional Spark overlays for old versions. So overlay slightly older PS list for Spark version 8, which nobody else supports anymore, and Linus Torvalds wants to delete from his kernel, but pry my previous video, precious Spark station, out of my cold grey hands. Yes, this is a commit spree. It's like end of the day, right? What do you do before you go to bed? You flush your workstations. Cool, right? We have a bit of an open source week here, right? We have the best release of T2 to come ever. More users, more developers, more unit testing, more network booting, and end of the day, everything we ever wanted to have working works. And as I said, I even restored in T2 QEMU PowerPC 64 ABI32. And if you share, like, and subscribe enough, I will probably even try to restore the DRI version 1 direct rendering interface original drivers like MGA and ATI R100, R200 and I915 or whatnot. But that is just for another day. For today, restoring QEMU PowerPC 64 32-bit user space emulation is enough. Plus all the other stuff, including another day we need to continue working on this RISC-V stuff, because this RVV07 draft patch we just rebased the other day breaks the 32-bit RISC-V. So we, for tonight, conditionalizes RISC RVV OCR and amazing viewers. And that's amazing stuff, right? Building this amazing open source community where we just fix stuff like the stuff other people want deleted. We keep working, we keep rebasing. We love our SGIO2, we love our PS3 and everything else in between, and our vintage and retro hardware. And other communities, other viewers even mentioned, because I rediffed this RISC-V vector extension 07 draft as implemented in the Silicon MongoPy previous video, and other high-performance RISC-V stuff coming. So we certainly want this supported. And other viewers mentioned in another previous YouTube live stream, and that's the stuff I would not even notice myself until I probably boot that sometime soon again. They said, hey, they did the same, which is amazing. Welcome to the community. Patches welcome. And they said there are a couple of more code paths that we also need to patch with alternatives now. And I just noticed today it fails for RISC-V 32. So shall I subscribe, Patreon, and such super things to keep all the stuff. So there's always one more stuff, right? We rebase and a week later breaks. Even we rebase. I mean, it's other people's patch that we rebased, and maybe that's the reason why it's not upstream, because breaks RISC-V 32. So much to that. But for now, let's solve this pressing thing. Attend tonight. Fix RISC-V, or like Linux RISC-V 32. Build. How do we name this? By making that conditional for now. So only for now, it's probably good enough an explanation. This works in our codeless T2 package builds, right? This is conditionalized here, the patches on architecture, so this is only then applied for RISC-V 3064 and unbreaking RISC-V. Of course, it passes the unit testing, right? I'm pretty sure I saw this scrolling by, so Arch RISC-V. Of course, it is unit tested and passes now that it's built. Then, I guess, yes, all right. Another extremely important hotfix. Oh, by the way, did we probably not yet commit extern, because it also failed? So it's like, yes, 2024, welcome to my life. Even extern breaks. Fixed extern to build for 32-bit architectures on 64-bit lib 64 systems. Yes, I'm not making this shit up. The stuff, as seen on a previous live stream, it's just iterating over a dozen old directories, and the first that exists on the host it's using, even if you're cross-compiling. Completely cross-configure script, what should I say? Fix that by just specifying what we need and ignoring their 12 hard-coded passes. So yeah, I was wondering why it fails for some builds. That is why. Now you know, stuff you never wanted to know. But of course we also need to patch GCC more for example, for Super H. And some surrounding stuff. I believe the path, so that is just comments, but we can clean that up. Multi-lib for very cursed multi-lib configuration. I think it fully built like that now. That is evil conf stuff. That's just a comment. That's just the other hot enable obsolete for upcoming. Okay, that is of course mostly fine. But to I previously had deleted this patch, and today I found out I thought it's obsolete, but of course it isn't. I still need this cursed thing. In which revision did we? Somewhere I reverse merged that. Maybe that one. Let's double check that. Yeah, that is that. Reverted removal, because turns out we still need this. Would be too easy if we... So, I can also show you that. Absolutely cursed multi-lib configuration in my life. I've seen like all multi-lib configurations in GCC. Multi-lib meaning usually your compiler supports one architecture, like 686. Or 486, yes, the CPU is dead. Sorry, I killed that. That is why it's on my desk for illustration purposes only. But For most 64-bit architectures, you usually want to support both, so that is what multilib is for a compiler supporting multiple architectures and library things. So that is why we have, this is for stuff like lib and lib64 and building everything twice, like libgcc. SuperH also wants to play the multilib game. It's just horribly broken, so it's like, I've seen a lot of cursed things like Spark, but SuperH is like, dude, just like, I wasted hours on this stuff years ago and it's still cursed, so I don't know what other people do. Probably, spoiler alert, probably nobody else is building SuperH. René says SuperH SA like in your Dreamcast. And yes, we tested this 15 years ago. I hope it still works. Hey, it runs in... No, I'm not hoping. It passes our test suite in QEMU, so it's probably fine. Either I need to go my friend over and... Either I need to go to my friend over and put a CD into his Dreamcast, or I should actually finally auction my own Dreamcast. Spoiler alert, I have none, but at least my best friend has one. And yes, we booted this 15 years ago. It's probably still fine. Like if you want to use this in production, maybe some Toyota, or probably it's used in some car entertainment systems or other Japanese embedded stuff. And if you want to support this with Linux today, obviously you know the last Linux you will ever need, right? It's like, yeah. Anyway, so restore that because it's still broken. Even I deleted that prematurely. It still didn't build. Learned this today the hard way. Reverted that because we still need it. Yeah, it's fine. We need this. Otherwise, it's still. I don't know what I was thinking the other month. Yeah, what should I say? We still have stuff to sort, including what can be alright. This here, for example, that is fixing eyes out for older glibc. Eyes out because 2024 eyes out breaks because including the right headers is difficult. If you're this only builds accidentally on some modern systems if you have a slightly older glibc, like for spoiler alert 32-bit Spark version 7 or 8, where we currently need a slightly older glibc because, of course, the Red Hat developers have deleted older Spark from glibc. Would be too easy if that would be supported. Yes, I know about the implementation marginalities. Yes, threading atomics. Yes, I know old Spark sucks a bit, but still works. Previous video if you want to see my 40 MHz Spark booting. T2 Linux, all of this available video on demand here on the YouTube library. So next thing here, commit that, and it's theoretically upstream worthy, right? It's like if you build this on some BSD, it will probably fail like this, process error, size max undeclared, because pro tip, including headers in C, important. Fixed eyes out for older glibc, ENG, Spark 32, what should I say? Oops, pressed the wrong button, damn it. Oh, wait, is it? We covered that, fix. It's late, it's late and my typing is bad, so for older, it's probably fine. I think that's kind of sort of getting enough for today, right? I believe there's only very little stuff to fix. I probably skipped over some builds. var ADM, yes, I checked the comments, I see this. Many people tuning in and some comments I should check. I'm in my cleanup commit sprint here of Scrum mastering this. So we are in EH. This is what even yeah, you fix everything and then your Hewlett-Packard Precision Architecture 64-bit kernel somehow fails in probably glibc regressions. This was some generic C is difficult and cannot reach your stuff things. Maybe we are lucky and it's just using the wrong compiler. I've actually not really an idea what's going on with this truncated relocations, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's the right linker, so I don't know. This is a little bit, yeah, especially like it built last month, and yeah, spoiler, if you support all CPU architectures nobody else is building, then stuff fails, so that is something for tomorrow. Similar to that, this is just, I skipped over GCC. I was just hoping maybe some other stuff builds, but it doesn't, so that is also to fix for tomorrow. Probably what is with my tests? Maybe there are tests to commit. Anything else? Just YOLO. Alright, so we can, what do we have? This is just removal. This is, we actually wired all this stuff up, including, so that is more QEMU, how is this called? QEMU system, right? System variants for PowerPC 64 and S390X. And then I believe the other, so the other is, I mean, the other file we could delete now because we are done with it. Yeah, that is force. And because previously this was just a collection of this is how to run. Even that took me hours, right? Figuring out all the 20 combinations of, because spoiler, I even had to change our Linux configurations to produce serial console and other architecture enablement. It's like, yeah, 1 hour there, 1 hour there, scripting that. Previous video, right? Yesterday on Twitch, 2.5 hours, because we script whole ISO boot up, right? So if we internal test, all right, no, internal build, or actually just that, right? Like if we test this, we boot the whole kernel and initRD, and even test our full initRD and our more minimal initRD. And we do this with TCL expect. So that is, even that already 2 years ago, I started that. This is a, if you're wondering, a 25-year in the making, plus 5 years live on YouTube. We're getting somewhere, right? Like if you fix stuff in like 67,884 revisions, 25 years later, strangely, everything eventually works. So that is internal, and highly appreciate this other super thanks. There, super chat. Internal testing of 901, and this is just the beginning, right? Like it took hours, like I said this on the other live stream. It doesn't look like much, but this is hours of trial and error, curating all the QEMU variants, figuring out the best ways of scripting that, and that is that here, right? Argument parsing, setting timeout, then even that I had to figure out here for send slow, because even the serial console lost characters, right? So that is best practices of how slowly send stuff to your serial console, not to lose data apparently. Then spawning the argument past QEMU here, QEMU kernel initRD, no graphic append here of various stuff and other stuff potentially needed. Waiting for our user space banner, right? T2, like timeout, exit 1, error code T2, SDE early user space. Then further our locking on our everything fully booted. And at the end, because we boot this without storage devices and stuff, like we want to make sure the kernel works, like our compiler works, our assembler works, the whole Linux kernel works, all our user space works, because the initRD has our regular user space, or usually glibc or musl. Our shell, our scripting works, and then at the end of like we are fully booted, UDEV initiated, and then our famous banner, we do not scream, you get a debug shell, and then we power off here, sending O for power off into proc sys request trigger. If you didn't know that stuff, that is a thing. And then we expect reboot power down, and that we do for all architectures. QEMU supported, so that would be that, right? Oops. And even conditionally enable KVM, depending on whether you are running on IBM, previous live streams, our precious Power 8 server, or our ARM64 Apple Silicon KVM, or that, right? So this is why the QEMU x86 tests are faster, because they run through KVM. Obviously all the other stuff, or the XX86. And it's like, yeah, this is now tested, and we instantly found, like, we found P80 legacy, oops, is a kernel. We found P-series didn't work yet because I had it disabled. Yeah. The more you test, the more you find, right? And the only substitute for testing is more testing. And yes, we also still need to import some musl patchery. Anyway, I'm absolutely thrilled. That's not even everything. I probably have still 100 changes uncommitted in my working copy. That is all I have for you today at after midnight. That is the sweat, blood and tears open source community holds their stuff together. And the other thing I mentioned, right, earlier live streams, you have seen this on Twitch, 1.5 hour, and then plus some, restoring what was deleted by Red Hat developers. Probably didn't work. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I patched there. It's like, yeah, this is how much it take. When you see on the news sites, QEMU removed PowerPC64 ABI32 user emulation, it's like, because it probably didn't work. I mean, not only it did work for me, I restored it in 1.5 hours, reverting that and rebasing that a little bit. Yes, I patched some assertions away. I still, I will polish that another day. It works for me. So, yeah, and so much more code to restore, maintain, and rewrite for microkernel to come. But I'm very pleased, very thrilled. So much work. Actually, I could have let it, I don't know what, for kicks and giggles, I'll leave it. Yeah, you can't test this stuff enough. While I read your comments, I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. The ISOs some ISOs are already on the download server. The other ones will be copied soon. Wow, so many comments. Is that seriously on setup or just a picture grabbed? So that is a picture from IBM. That is not my setup. But I mean, I will stack this soon. I will. I mean, I don't have precisely that, but I mean, yes, I know. Since 3 years, I know my office looks like shit because it's a regular, normal office. I have no time for decoration. Probably I would have more viewers and subscribers if my background would look cool, but I have no time for cool background. I fix everyone's open source bugs. But yeah, I'm aware. I say this for 3 years and I will do it soon because now, like, I fix bugs. If I put there in O2 and SG Octane and some Sunblade, the background will already look better. I'm aware of that. The setup is obviously relatively thick, and I'm aware that I need to show this more for more kicks and giggles. And welcome everyone. S300X, so set frameworks, also, what distro? What distro? Which distro? This one. And yes, I'm German. We're working on T2, the last Linux distribution you will ever need. Brought to you 25 years here, with love from Berlin. I'm literally automating this. Why? We are literally, comment there, why are you doing all this by hand, not automated? Like, this is freaking automated. Like, are you freaking kidding me? For 25 years, we are the most automated Linux distribution. We even have an automated AI data bot updating packages for us. I'm doing the opposite of doing that by hand. Like, I'm literally the most scripting the heck out of that. I hope you enjoy this and learn something. I mean, if there is a bug, like what is like, I don't have a true general AI yet to fix these bugs for me. Like, if there is a bug, I need to fix it by hand. Like, I'm working on positronic brain of data, but currently it's updating packages. It's not yet fixing, like, when Red Hat sees it, they delete it, like, but we fix it. So yeah. I mean, I literally automated the tests, like they are strolling by here. Like, otherwise, previous video, remember when Level 1 and AMD gave me access to a 128 core epic $11,000 server. It's like, yeah, we built like all of that in an afternoon. It's like that level of automation. But I hope you enjoy it and appreciate it. So I'm always surprised by the comments. I sometimes, I mean, yeah, and we fix this TESTSUITE failures, right? But plus QEMU crashes here. Yeah, QEMU mutex logs, like, yeah, we find some QEMU bugs here. Obviously, nobody tested whatever that was. That's, yeah. But you're welcome, and Patch is welcome. I've got a question. How do you do all TESTSUITE the libraries are supported? Do you recode them? What do you mean with that? We compile them all. We cross-compile them all for each architecture, right? If I don't quite understand. Full development deployment flow looks like no second why summarized anywhere. Yeah, it's summarized like in our preview. We also have a handbook. We have. May I present to you? Of course, it's summarized. We probably should update it and which one? This one? Focus, scene selection. It is documented here in the literally freaking T2 handbook, copyright myself and such, 2002 to 2008. It's like here it is documented, the whole workflow. You also find it on our website and various YouTube videos live seen here. Usually I probably also, we need our new logo obviously on your right. So don't delay. Yeah, the book is not for sale anymore since 2008, but I guess I need to probably refresh the book for people who want to read the freaking manual. Otherwise, it's summarized on the website there on knowledge base and documentation, and otherwise seen regularly here on these channels. Yes, there's some automation. The unit test per template. Keyboard currently currently also most not what is the best Linux distribution, what keyboard that is currently. This is a Philco My Yes Touch 2. In the meantime, there I just saw the other day there's a My Yes Touch 3, which unfortunately I would now rather like to have. So I said this before, I only brought this because it is PS2 compatible for use on my SGI O2 and Octane, but otherwise it's of course a good keyboard. But I brought it only mostly because I thought it will be the last good keyboard supporting PS2, and I believe my Yes Touch 3 still supports PS3, and it supports an N key rollover, which probably this one does not yet, but yeah. Thanks for that. I use Vim and Emacs. I troll everyone, and cause I'm a flame war starter with my use of Vim and Emacs. New subscriber, happy to hear that. No idea what I'm saying, but it's interesting. Happy to hear that. I hope you learned something. How do we exit VI? You exit VI with colon Q. I usually use X, but Q for quit and X for exit with saving the file. I hope you don't ask me how to exit Emacs. I actually don't know how to exit Emacs because I do it naturally. That is XC, so it's Control XC. I actually couldn't tell you until I press a keyboard because it is so much in my blood that I can't tell you by memory. I can only tell you by memorized mechanical muscle memory. And what's that? Stack Fu, consider Nano. We use real editors. We are real humans here. We are professionals. So this Vim stuff is overrated. I will start a Flameware now, but because I started in Vim I'm fine with sticking with it, learning. I know the basics, and I should make a dedicated video. Probably Ask Me Anything. VI versus Emacs will be probably a more popular video than sorting patches in TESTSUITE at night. But VI is overrated. I find historically VI, like I use VI for low bandwidth international data center connections. Locally I use Emacs, and although I can use neither good, I can use both sufficiently. And I would say in this day and age, VI is not the most important thing to learn. But that might trigger some people even. Let the flame wars start. Obviously, Emacs is a superior Lisp scripted editor. VI is basically the poor man's small, tiny little editor, but nah, hope I don't lose subscribers saying that. Although I daily use I mean, it's fine, but this is also, I mean, this Unix editors are overrated, but just don't use Visual Studio and then you're fine. So one last check on the comments. Break your host tonight and at a random space somewhere on that script. It's pretty much set for work these days. Pretty diff and probably I don't need read all comments. Is there no T2 minimal ISO without any stuff on it? You mean like without Xorg? So I built, I was thinking about that, but like basically most people want X, and the crazy stuff is even for Super H we build all of XFCE, right? So good all our fully automated scripted stuff is. The thing is, do we even have all the ISOs here? Maybe not for some reason. Let's maybe rebuild ISO. Let's basically build all with our or minimal sleep or so. Because now that we fixed everything, we also want the ISOs. Probably because I think it doesn't make, I mean, our ISOs are not the largest, right? They're all a gigabyte or less. Like especially the embedded architecture ones are way less because they don't have X, but most have X. I would say the solution to that is not building more ISOs because 36 are freaking many, and I rather support 4 more crazy exotic architectures. And yes, there are more like Blackfen DSPs. I think the solution to that is making a default package selection, like having people like downloading a gigabyte. I would, even as with my minimalism, downloading a gigabyte is not too much of an issue. I think if you want to install less, which most people don't, but for the few people who want a more minimal ISO, I think we simply should have a installer option of installing some more basic package set instead of doubling our ISO size. Like instead of having each architecture as minimal or base Xorg or base Wayland with Firefox. This is too confusing, right? We have already 36 freaking confusing base images usually with Xorg and Wayland and Firefox. I think we shouldn't add more. That would just be confusing nightmare, and we should just make our installer better and have some base package, more base Xorg less, like basically Docker virtualization server container base image thing without X, if you so want that. I probably should add this to the to-do. What is with my typing today? It is past midnight. It's probably should go to bed. Yeah, so this is how you all keep my to-do at a steady 666 lines. Thank you for that. But we appreciate all your comments, even more so patches. And yes, I know there are patches pending. why am I always is root? Because building the ISO needs root permission. Otherwise, like, why not? We have containers with virtualizations. Because the scripts, otherwise you need to fill around with fake root stuff. Because some packages, I mean, not only the base directories need to be created with, should be, I mean, if we don't create the files with root permission, like how you want to have them installed in your distribution, we would need to play tricks with archiving them, either with tar, set owner, whatnot. That is super annoying. Some things need to be set user ID root still, like sudo, maybe su, and other special and quirky and whatnot stuff, and so on and so forth, right? So like, we are not in the 90s anymore, right? We're not running bare metal, and like, it's totally fine, like, to run in your VM or Docker container as root for creating this. Also, I mean, continuing with, even our build system creates mounts, tempfs, like for high performance and so on. So you couldn't, even without other additional permission, sudo and whatnot, like, it would just be a total, I mean, it's hard enough to script everything to work, and then it should be the easiest way possible, not like adding more complexity just to build stuff as non-root when you build in a container or a VM anyway. So plus theoretically, if you do a native build, which I nowadays don't do anymore since 5 years, but if you do a native build, then after the bootstrap everything is change rooted, and then you would need some permission for change root. So basically it's pointless. Like, non-root building in this day and age is pointless in my opinion. So yeah, because we are the system integrator, we are the OS vendor, and that is why we build stuff as root. No, this is not Gentoo. Like, Gentoo is another competitive distribution that is way different than T2. Like, but yeah. Any tips on getting into PCA driver development? Depends with what you mean by that. GPU storage, or do you, I mean, basically reads a Linux, but whatever it is, probably it reads a Linux kernel, or specifications, and then what area, specific area you want to work on that. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, learned something. We have an amazing release coming. Thanks again for all the super chats. Can always need more of that, right? Electricity costs, coffee, website, and also funding our bounties, right? If you didn't know, our Tiny Linux distribution is one of the few, if not nearly the only, who pays contributors, right? So if you are a student or similar, or just for fun, we have up to 120 or so euro bounties for features. So if you some of even easy, some are more difficult, some are just packaging stuff, right? As some of these are certainly larger, right? As more donations we get, and other successful projects, we will raise them further. Some are just packaging some stuff, right? Here, Cinnamon or whatever, Swift language, like, yeah. I mean, it's not, even I would need an hour or two, but hey, it's fair, right? Other distributions, you get nothing. Here, like, hey, want to package some stuff. Or do we even have Graal VM actually? Or maybe even have that already. Graal. Or not. I lose overview of. Maybe we don't have this. Or is it packaging? What do we build even here? ARM version 5TE didn't fully build yet. No, that's good to know. So that's it for the video. Amazing progress. Tons of stuff fixed. Amazing foundation for whole system integration and ISO release bootable test verification. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. as usual, would be amazing if you share, like, and subscribe to spread the word and help us grow. Patches welcome, and have a good day or night, and I hope to see you soon for all the next amazing things, like playing on our MIPS and Spark things and Risk 5 stuff to come.